Folks, we're always looking to get your feedback, to get your takes on stuff, because we want to implement your thoughts as the fans into the show. So if you want to text us to have your message read out on the show, or you can call us. If you call us, your voice will be anonymously played during the episode, or your text will be anonymously read during the show. Call or text at this phone number. It is 651-300-2129. Once again, 651-300-2129. Ask us questions. Give your takes on anything. Call us, text us, leave us voicemails to be featured on the show.
Are those them 10 boys?
Nope.
Good morning.
Thank you for watching
10K TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of 10K TV presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Boss Man. I'm joined by journalist Jake. We got Sarge behind the computer this time, and we're festive. We got Christmas sweaters on.
I got the Vikings version, but it's technically a Christmas sweater, so
It's fitting because the whiteout game is Monday.
it is. So I'll probably be wearing this because this is my only Vikings themed white apparel. But I think we got this for free last year, right?
Yeah.
At the game, that's cool.
Yeah.
Along with the scarf.
We're gonna get more into the whiteout game in the Vikings, because there's a certain event that happened the last time the Vikings played the Bears on Monday Night Football, which was last year. But let's talk about the Wild first. I would say right now Minnesota's best team. Here's a crazy thing for you. The Minnesota Wild are currently tied. We're recording this Monday night. They're tied for number 1 in the league. Kirill currently has the best odds according to DraftKings for the Hart. Gus currently has the best odds to win the Vezina according to DraftKings. And they're just fucking really good right now. I mean, they lost to LA, which sucked.
Yeah, it's whatever. They're not going to win every game, though.
No.
You need to understand, some people are getting all depressed about it.
No.
And it doesn't make sense. And LA is decent. You're playing on the road. They just played the night before against Anaheim and
22 hours before.
Yeah, totally just dismantled the Ducks.
Yeah.
Rossi had a hat trick in one period.
He had
crazy.
two goals and an assist. So you
yeah.
guys know I was having a field day with that.
Right. It's
not a bust, by the way.
Right. It's not a bust. That's the bit, because everyone's still there's still people saying that we should trade him or asking about the idea of, should we trade Rossi?
So stupid.
Why? Why would you do that? He's a young player.
Every time that I get the opportunity to say that Marco Rossi is not a bust, I do bust.
Yeah.
I come in my pants. Back to the Wild, though. Are them and the Vikings the same team? In a sense of, this wasn't supposed to be a year where they were in a discussion, at least to be in the top of the league.
I think you're when I was thinking about that, I think they're definitely in the same boat. I definitely thought the Wild could play well still if they kept a healthy roster. I didn't think they'd be playing this good. I still thought they could be in a better situation than the Vikings. I mean,
they're not healthy and they're playing this
I know.
good, which is even crazier.
That's weird. At this point last year when they lost, I just think they have a lot more. They've added something with depth of these guys that weren't stepping up last year are stepping up. Rossi is now in more. He's another year into the NHL career. Faber's back another year in, and some of these younger guys are actually stepping up and can kind of sustain the team, while some of these older guys are, if they're out, like Zuccarello or Hartman or Spurgeon, they can step up and kick some ass and play well. Right. I think that's what we're seeing.
We also put out the graphic last week, Captain's Patch. The Minnesota Wild are off to a historic start since Captain's Patch started selling in the XL Energy Center. So congrats to us on helping the Minnesota Wild compete for a Stanley Cup this year.
Yeah, and I
Knock
think,
on wood.
Yeah, the presence of the beer in itself alone is probably helping it, but also us drinking it and giving us that needed energy to cheer on the team and yell at the team to skate.
Yep.
They're actually hearing us.
And to do the butterfly in random areas of the concourse.
Yeah, that is definitely boosting. We're getting people involved in the Wild movement. Even David Spade.
Yeah, and Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm commented on the post. What did he say? Okay, neighbor? Or hey there,
so
neighbor?
I looked it up. He's in his latest commercials. He's calling everyone neighbor. He's like, "Hey, neighbor." Another thing I wanted to say too is just I think that I don't know if you guys watched the game against Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
that overtime. I'm glad 3-on-3 hockey seems to be back this year, because 2 years ago, every time the Wild were in 3-on-3, they were so risky on 3-on-3. Like they would never take the puck out of their own zone. They would always pass it around. It was always trying to force a breakaway. It was, they were always making the risky defensive passes so that they could have a breakaway. And then it seems like the last 2 years, or at least the last year, they kind of stepped away from that, and it became really conservative of like, okay, if you don't have like a shot or a pass, just skate out, the blue line change. And they would just skate in circles until it was a shootout and we'd lose. Whereas now it feels like 3-on-3 is fucking fun again.
Yeah.
And especially that game against Vancouver when Besser hits the top post on a 2-on-0. Rossi throws a pass down to Kirill, who I think it was Kirill, right? Who scored? There's been so many game winners.
Yeah.
There's been so many overtime game winners. I'm getting confused. Kirill's always involved in it.
I swear he's either had the assist or the goal. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that makes sense because he's like the first line guy. He's part of the 3-on-3, line. But that, I was saying, was the most electric, most energizing. It's a beautiful display of overtime. Like, obviously, we're happy as Wild fans. I'm glad they won. But in general, just watching it was so entertaining with Vancouver being a good team. Yeah, like Besser went down, but I think even right before Besser went down, Vancouver almost scored on another opportunity.
Gus had a nice breakaway save.
Yeah, he had a nice breakaway save.
And we had a breakaway.
Yep.
That's the way it should be, though. It should be like each team has 3 breakaways or at least 1 breakaway. Or teams just, over the last few years, got way too conservative on 3-on-3, and it kind of pissed me off. But shout out to Yakov Trenin for scoring his first goal in a Wild sweater. I jokingly, when Russo tweeted that he scored for the first time, I said tonight we'll open the floodgates. He's about to score a goal a game for the foreseeable future. And he scored Saturday night.
Yeah.
Against LA.
Wasn't it an empty netter? Or no, that was but no, didn't he score Friday though?
Yes, so he scored an empty netter Friday,
yeah.
And then I made the joke of like, he's about to go off. He's about to have a goal a game, and he scored the only goal against the Kings.
Yeah.
So,
which is really funny.
Is it Trent Sember?
He's a trend setter.
Yes.
Like
It's the most Yakov time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most wonderful time of the Yakov. I don't know.
There's something there we could do. I don't know. But Yakova.
Okay, final question for you guys. Like we mentioned, the Wild are very good. And it is quite a surprise. I think, like we'd mentioned before the season started, we had said that they weren't projected to be the best team in the league. I don't think their playoff projection was super high, but here they are stunning everyone, and we're only in December, so we're about a third of the way through the season. But what things were more likely that happened than the Wild being number 1 in the league 30% the way into the season? What are some things that were more likely to happen?
That are more likely to happen this year? Yeah, I think I was thinking of a couple things. Getting myself getting an honorary doctorate degree from a university in some sort of field of some sort, which is clearly not possible. I mean, you never know, though. Buying a house.
I had buying a house on my list.
In this economy, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just didn't, for them to be number 1 in the league at this point of the year, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. I think maybe being obviously competing for a playoff spot, yeah, but I think a few of those things, like right there, I think were definitely more possible.
I thought me getting a girlfriend was more possible. But
I had that on my list.
I
had that on my list.
Getting engaged or having a successful date even.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
Not getting ghosted.
Going on a date and trying not to talk about the Minnesota Vikings.
Or Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
As that happened back in the spring. No, but
brought
it's
up
Trump.
Kirk Cousins?
Or not
doing a Trump impersonation.
Kirk Cousins. Or not doing a Trump impersonation in general. Not necessarily on the date, but not getting drunk and not doing a Trump impersonation. That was more possible than Wild being.
Didn't you meet a girl in Nashville and you were just talking to her the entire time in Trump's voice, and she's like, "Stop talking like Trump.
Stop talking like that." And she still texted me after that, but I kept doing it. I'm like, this is a great drink. It's a fantastic drink. And she's like, you need to stop doing that right now. Stop that impression. Like, you need to stop with that. And that's not the only time I've been said to stop doing that. Like, someone looks genuinely upset when I just do an impression of Trump about something that's not even political. But
something we could have added to the list is Sarge getting bounced from another wedding.
Oh, dude. That's a story for another time.
Sarge not watching porn for a week.
Ooh.
Dude, that's such a good one.
There's more of them on there that I can't think of. How about Julius Randle playing defense?
Yeah.
We can get to later.
Julius Randle playing
Chris
defense.
Finch making adjustments.
Yeah. Chris Finch actually wanting to win a game, maybe.
Right. Not having Golden State on the spread on Sunday.
And not sitting at 500 constantly. I do want to shout out, though, I know we're a college hockey state and we have a million hockey teams, but Go for Hockey. They shut out Michigan, and they shut them out in a series for like the first time since 1943.
Yeah, pre-Hitler death.
Pre-Hitler days. And right around that time, the Go for Football was winning national championships, by
Against
the way.
high schoolers.
Well, at this point, they were playing a little better teams,
Okay.
but these were guys that were
Future
going to
college
war.
students.
Yeah, for sure. Guys were going to war when they were playing these teams. But I just was shocked by that stat in the sense of like, oh, shit, we've actually been playing Michigan that long in hockey. I thought that was just maybe football, and that's it. You know,
That was back in the days where goalies just dressed as regular players and had no pads.
Yep, I know they shot lower, but still, that's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Those guys were just still
No mask.
just still had the stick. They're still diving and shit, but that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know us, 10,000 Takes, we have our own beer. It's pretty damn cool, isn't it? We partnered with Elm Creek Brewing to brew this delicious drink, Captain's Patch. It is a raspberry lemon shandy. And if you go to captainspatch.com, you plug in your zip code, you can find out all the places near you where it's sold at. And if you're a big Wild fan or you go to a concert or PWHL Frost, you can go to the XL Energy Center in section 105, 113, and also C13 if you're a fancy pants on the club level. So captainspatch.com. You can get it at Burger Mo's if you're down in downtown St. Paul. You can get it at a lot of different liquor stores across the state of Minnesota. And guess what? If you plug in your zip code and it's not there yet, bug the shit out of us. I know we're trying to get it in Mankato. We're trying to get it more up north. We're really trying to push to get it in more places, so we need your help to do it. Tell your local liquor store to get Captain's Patch. CaptainsPatch.com. Drink it. Enjoy it responsibly. All right, let's talk about the 11-2 Minnesota Vikings. Tied for second in the NFC right now, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw. I'm looking ahead at next week. So the Lions lead the NFC at 12-1. They have the first seed.
Yep.
And then the Eagles are tied with us at 11-2. Sorry, Lions 12-1, Eagles 11-2, Vikings 11-2. The Lions play the Bills. That's going to be a tough one. And the Eagles have the Steelers, and the Vikings have the Bears, which I know last year on this game, Monday Night Football, we lost. That was with Josh Dobbs.
It was just Josh Dobbs just absolutely missing a wide open receiver.
Yeah, defense was on the
sideline.
field the entire game, so they got worn down. But I'm not going to, what as I'm saying it, but there is a scenario where after a week from now, the Vikings are tied for the first overall spot in the NFC, which is crazy.
They would be. And the thing is, I think the Lions would still have the tiebreaker because they beat us so far.
Right.
But they're playing a Bills team who lost in disappointing not disappointing, but who did the Bills play?
Rams.
The Rams, and they should not.
Shootout.
They're going to be hungry to get a win in Detroit next week because they're fighting for that number one seed, so they could easily lose. And then we play them the end of the year. But it's kind of funny right now if you look at the playoff picture. Like, we're like second in the NFC, tied with the Eagles, but we have the fifth seed right now, and we would play Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay if the playoffs started today, which I think would be a very tough game. But it's just how it's divisions, because Tampa Bay's leading the division and we're not, so we're the highest wild card technically. But it is bizarre that we could be tied with them, and
It's like the smallest of margins could make a humongous difference in seeding right now.
I know.
So the Vikings really do control their own destiny.
Yeah.
If the way I was looking at it, if you can beat the Bears on Monday, and then between Seattle, Green Bay, and Detroit, I know this is a tall order, you can win two of those three.
Yep.
I don't see how you don't, and one of those games is the Lions. I don't see how you don't win the NFC. Or
I-
at least tie the Eagles, and then I'm not sure where the tiebreaker goes, but
Yeah.
you win the North.
You win the North, and then you get. It's just crazy to me and bizarre to me that we're having the conversations with them getting the number one overall seed. You know, it's harder to now get the bye because when they expanded the playoffs to 7 teams per conference, it's not the top 2 teams of the bye. It's only the one team. The fact that they could get that is absolutely insane to me. All signs are pointing to this team getting to the NFC Championship game. With the one-off quarterback, Sam Darnold's playing well, but can they just get to that next level? There's just a Super Bowl for, that's what we want to see. So It's just
crazy.
crazy right now to think about.
So here's another thing for you. Ready? Sam Darnold is currently a top 10 NFL quarterback. You guys ready for these stats? In the last 4 games, he's thrown 11 touchdown passes without an interception.
Mm-hmm.
He's 3rd in passer rating, only behind Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson. He's 5th in passing yards, 7th in completion percentage, and he's the first quarterback in 20 years to throw 5 touchdowns in a single week. I think since our boy Culpepper.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Sam Darnold.
Then quarterback
Sam
right now.
fucking Darnold, dude.
I gotta say, I did not expect him to be playing this good right now. It's crazy how, especially yesterday though, because like he still had plays where in games, even when he was playing well, he was still had some shaky plays and still made some really bad throws. And don't get me wrong, he's still playing well. But yesterday, or against the Falcons though, he just looked incredible.
I think the coolest
crazy.
thing about his performance was, and they talked about this in the presser after, was the big screen put up his numbers and how he was leading the NFL. I think he was the second best quarterback this week next to Josh Allen. Of course,
Yeah.
he balled out just hours later. But
At the time, he was number one.
at the time, by a lot in terms of just overall stats. And they put that on the big screen. I was in US Bank Stadium. It was an incredible moment. The whole place erupted, and the camera cut to Sam Darnold. This year, he's been very modest. He's been very calm and collected because he also knows that he has a lot to prove, and he has not proven anything in the however many years he's been in the league. But when that camera went on him yesterday, he let out a lot of emotion. Like, he was waving the towel, like, let's fucking go. He was so pumped, and I felt happy for him in that moment. That looked like probably the first time in his career in the NFL where he was genuinely proud of himself.
I think so too, because look everywhere he's gone, he hasn't played that great.
Media has just crucified him in every other market, and it's just cool to see it. Like, it just truly proves that this goes beyond sports, that it's never over till it's over. Like,
I know.
You can come back and have a hell of a career 5 years after you start. I love, too, how on that play that Darnold made where he, slipped out of that sack, ran to his right, off of his back foot across his body, threw it to Jettas in the end zone. KOC was quoted after by saying, this is what he said to the media. He said, "I'm not going to tell you what I told him in regards to my opinion on how many guys in this league can make that throw." So just to say, like, obviously because if KOC comes out and says X, Y, and Z couldn't make that throw, and then that team kicks you out of a playoffs, it's a bulletin board material. But KOC believes in him, and it's pretty sweet.
Coach Cock.
Yeah.
Coach Cock.
Now let's talk about this. So I was at the game, and Jake, I know you were very heated about this, and some people felt one way or another. Kirk Cousins gets booed very heavily onto the field. I don't get it. In my mind, I get why they moved on from him, and I understand all that.
100%.
I don't get why the guy gets booed. And for the counter arguments of, well, he's not a Viking anymore, we don't boo every quarterback who runs on the field. Yeah. Really quick to transition keep while we're on the topic of Falcons quarterbacks. Did you guys see the Penis Jr. jersey in the game yesterday?
I'm so glad people brought up. I'm so glad people ran with that joke because I think that was the joke too, like penis, funny, and I think that's hilarious.
I just think it's funny that a Viking fan spent $170. He's wearing a Vikings beanie, so this guy clearly had this game circled.
Yeah.
He's like, yep, I'm going to use my hard-earned money to buy a Penis Jr. jersey.
So clearly a Vikings fan and just wears that to troll people. I think that's so fucking funny.
He was planning out all the games he wanted to go to. He's like, nah, honey, we got to skip Monday Night Football the next week because we're going to reallocate those funds into the Penis Jr. custom jersey.
The jersey, the tickets, everything.
Yeah.
We're investing
This
everything.
is going to be our Super Bowl.
Really quick, though, before we move on to more basketball stuff, though, Gophers are going to the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yes, yep.
You're probably going to bring that up, but we've got to see PJ get mayo dumped on him.
This has been a dream on this show for since the conception of 10K Takes. I'm not even kidding. Ever since the Duke's Mayo Bowl was a thing, we'd always said, I want to see PJ get doused in mayo.
Get doused in white cream. Yes.
It's now or never, Jake.
No, it's finally happening, so they got to win. They're playing Virginia Tech. It can happen, but we want to see – that's the biggest storyline. We can talk about the quarterbacks and who's going to win, blah, 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 but we want to see PJ in the end get mayo dumped on him.
This would be better than making the college football playoff. Last thing on the Vikes quick. So there was a graphic released by – I got to find who it was. It was Clutch Points. Highest local crime in terms of NFL stadiums. Guess who's number one?
Local crimes?
So this must be like crime in the area around the stadium.
In general or like during games?
Yeah,
but in general?
Just in general.
My goodness. I mean, I was thinking Jacksonville just because I was thinking of just in-stadium fights because it gets greasy. But that is it New York? Is it MetLife?
Keep guessing.
Chicago?
Keep guessing.
It's not U.S. Bank Stadium, is it?
Yeah, it is. All right, not a ton on the Wolves. With Friday's win against Golden State, that was, I believe, their 4th straight win, which is cool. They're learning how to win again. They beat the Clippers once. They beat Golden State once.
L.A.
Yeah, they beat the Lakers,
LA.
which that was a big win. Lakers have been good this year, but it's they're fun to watch, but there's just still some fundamental flaws that it just seems like they have, especially with the new guys. Like DiVincenzo doesn't really seem like he's existed this entire year. Randall's had his highs, but he's also had his lows, and they're just kind of there right now, which is fine.
Yeah, they've been a brutally average.
Yeah.
I think they've won their last 3 or 4 now, and I think they're picking it up a little bit, but they're still like 12-11 or 11-11 or whatever. And it's just they can't seem to get away from that 500 average, and now it's just trending to be like another average Wolves team. Like now we're just starting to see like the best Wolves team that we saw last year, where it's like the best team we're going to get is maybe a team teetering on the playoffs, and
we win out like a play-in game.
Yeah, like we're on play-in team vibes right now, and it sucks because
Step back.
Because at one point that was fun to be a play-in team. Like, oh, we're getting the playoffs, but then last year we set higher expectations. Now we just fell down. And I just don't know if it's all on the Cat trade, honestly, because like we still have a lot of players, but there's just guys like Mike Conley that are just not playing well. And like Naz Reid hasn't really, I feel like he hasn't been really doing a whole lot, has he? Like,
I don't know.
It's weird.
So I watched Friday night's game against Golden State. And that one was electric. They played really well.
Yeah.
It was fun. Ant was talking mad shit to Steph. I don't know if you guys saw the clips from that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just always funny to me that like a legend like Steph, Ant just has the balls to just get up in his face and be like, fuck you. Even though this guy is probably the best 3-point shooter in history now. Mm-hmm. He's won multiple NBA titles, and Ant's like, I don't care. Like if we beat you on any given night, I'm still just gonna let you have it.
Yeah, I think, Anthony Edwards, like he's still just been electric every game. He's still going off. He's still scoring everything he can get. Like I think it was Friday. I think I saw like he scored like 10 points in like the last 2 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
like
he was good.
He just went off in the last couple minutes of the game just to kind of seal it. But yeah, his attitude, he's the most entertaining factor of this team to still watch, despite some of their downfalls. Just not only the way he plays, but just his personality. And we know that, like getting in players' faces, like a guy like Steph Curry, that is literally one of the best in the game.
That'd be like being a rookie quarterback like a Jaden Daniels and beating Tom Brady and then just talking mad shit after the game. Like,
I know.
Came in your trap, took over your trap.
Yeah, and
Cousins.
literally, Ant literally just doesn't care, and that's just so funny because he wants to be the best. He says he is the best. So
also watching the Friday night game, the last time I believe the Timberwolves played Golden State was when Draymond Green put Rudy Gobert in a chokehold, which was fucking he put him in a half Nelson. You guys remember that?
Was that last year?
That was last year.
Yeah.
And Rudy's like throwing his hands out, and Draymond's like joking.
It's just so weird.
I was crying at that, bro. I was like, what was this?
I don't know.
And like Cat is getting up in there trying to defend him, and
there's a whole altercation that shouldn't have happened, but
we let Draymond Green score so many. I don't know how many he scored on Friday, but he was hitting threes and stuff. I mean, it's like letting Revo put up a hat trick against your team. It's like you can't. If you let Draymond get a layup here or there, that's one thing. But when he's hitting threes and he might have made over 10 points, that was kind of embarrassing.
And his form is disgusting.
Yeah.
He's an old bitch, too. He's really old. He was doing really good on the TNT broadcast. I thought he was retiring for sure because I know
Yeah.
he has a super successful podcast, and like I said, he was doing TNT like during the Western Conference Finals. When I saw him back on the court this year for Golden State, I was like, oh, he's still playing, I guess. And guess he can still score against the Wolves.
I was shocked. I thought he was definitely probably on his way out after that altercation last year too. Like, I mean, like, dude, like.
Well, then he knocked out Jordan Poole at practice. Remember that? And then when he had to apologize, he just was like, sorry, I'm a father. Like, I just do what fathers do.
doesn't-
He didn't apologize at all.
It's not what fathers do. They don't knock people out or kids out for that matter. I don't understand. No, yeah, he definitely has an attitude problem, and he's also getting older too. So I just thought, yeah, definitely probably on his way out, but clearly still playing and lighting up the Wolves. So
I also thought it was funny too. So Sunday they didn't play as well. I guess the biggest criticism with Ant was that he was just shooting too much. And the funniest quote was Chris Finch said he was taking, quote unquote, just hero shot after hero shot. I think we got to come up with a new term for hero shot because hero shot sounds like a good thing.
yeah, that doesn't.
Maybe like forced shot after forced shot.
Hero shot seems like that would be like a game-winning shot to me.
Ant's our hero. Of course you want him shooting hero shot after hero shot.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that sounds like, yeah, they're making it. I know they're using the kind of like negative connotation.
Trying to be a hero too much.
He's trying to be a hero, so he's trying to put it. I get it, but like to me, that's a game-winning shot. Just say you're 4 shots. You know, I don't know.
A 0 shot.
There you go. The funniest thing too was I was reading John Krasinski, not from The Office, the beat writer for the Timberwolves, his article in The Athletic today, and he said, quote unquote, Edwards declined to conduct a post-game interview, saying that he had been fined by the league for cursing during his interviews.
$25K. He just got. Yeah, I read the article today.
Holy shit.
Wow, that's nuts. So
Now he's like, well, he's almost like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. He's like, if I can't smoke and swear, I'm fucked. So I'm just not going to do the interview because if I do it, I'm going to swear and I'm going to get fined.
look, I can't talk without swearing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't talk without swearing. So can I please swear? Yeah. The judge grants Ricky, you are allowed to swear.
Yeah.
So they should do that for Ant. Just let him swear.
Let him swear.
Let him
Just
do it.
Give him the pass.
That's his personality. Let him go.
And
Otherwise,
and don't give us that shit about like, oh, well, what does it look like to the kids who look up to him growing up? They're going to swear eventually.
they are, and like it shows that he's passionate about the game. Yeah, they're all your
Their
12-year-old.
Their parents are at home swearing in front of them.
Yeah, and 12-year-old Johnny is swearing on the bus going to school.
Jake, do we want to talk Gopher Hoops? I know me and you were at their Big Ten debut against Michigan State on Wednesday, which let's be nice to them. They did put up a lot of points. They scored a lot of points.
Well, they put up what 60.
78?
No, I didn't put up that much.
They
I
gave
can- I
up
can
90.
check. They gave up. It was 90-72.
Okay, 72.
But at one point, I think we were down by 25. At halftime, we were down by 13.
Yeah.
And that was better than we thought.
5 minutes into the first half, they were up 6 at one point. That was cool.
Yeah. So they made it a little competitive near, around the beginning of the first half, but then it just obviously got away. I'm not surprised. And then they, as we're recording this, they're now 0-2 in the Big Ten. They lost to Indiana, in Indiana, 82-67. So they're losing games within 20 points.
Okay. That's something.
So it's positive. Unlike a couple of years ago when they were having a bad team, they were losing games by 30. Obviously a big shift from last year, but I mean, eventually they'll start losing games by single digits and you never know, maybe they'll get a win.
I have a solution for Gopher basketball if you guys want to hear it.
Oh my God.
I mean, obviously you need to fire Ben Johnson, but that won't happen until after the season.
Yeah.
You need to let everyday people buy suites at Williams. I'm sick of seeing all these tweets of videos of Williams dead. Everyone's like, that was a ticket that was impossible to get back in the 90s. I get it, right? Either do like dollar beers. That's one solution. Or second, we were looking at those. They have like private suites up at the top of the barn that you can buy. It's all inclusive, food, drink, all that. And we were looking at it like, you know what? Maybe for like a matinee game against a smaller team, let's buy a suite for the day and try to give them some of our money. You got to donate $15,000 to the university to get one of those.
I know.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's do Boomer Bust, Sarge, because we were going to bring this up during Gopher basketball talk, but
You want to explain the segment first?
yeah, sorry. So Boom and Bust, similar to like a draft pick. the ones who are really good and maybe even underdogs are booms. Busts, which is not Marco Rossi, by the way, are, something bad or something that didn't quite pan out, similar to a bad draft pick. So, Sarge, we'll start with you. What do you got?
All right, so my boom.
The boom. So we can do that.
All right.
Is it AJ and Big Justice?
Mm-hmm.
So, no, it's not. Fuck those guys.
Come on.
Nah.
So my dad actually sent me this graphic. So it's St. Thomas basketball is my boom because they are ranked above the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, in the net rankings.
In net rankings and everything, and they've been in D1 for like 2 or 3 seasons.
3 seasons. That's insane. How is that possible?
The Gophers have been a team for 125 years.
Yep, they won the Helms Foundation National Championship or something in
Is that like
1903.
World War I era? 125? Yeah, no, that's 1899.
That was like literally early 1900s. It's crazy.
Holy fuck. Basketball's been around for a while.
It has been. College basketball especially.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But no, that's crazy, though.
That's tough.
That's that's actually so impressive by St. Thomas. Shout out to them. That's insane.
No, the expansion process is rigged, just like the Golden Knights. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I still don't even think they can even make the NCAA tournament. They're in that probationary period.
They still have a better chance than the Gophers.
They still have a better chance of making the NCAA tournament, and they're not even allowed to make it to the NCAA tournament. So,
my bust is that. Did you guys see this 28-year-old French guy that got busted for playing in U15 hockey and just buried some dude?
How do you logistically not check that or verify that?
I don't know, but he got busted, dude. And that's like my dream. I've been reffing a bunch of hockey, and just going back and just schooling people would just be the best.
Can you imagine just seeing that player in the Benchwarmers?
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. Carlos,
you're drunk.
Drinking tequila on the mound.
Maria.
I am 12, and then there's like a $5 bill slipped in it.
It's valid.
So it is my birth certificate. I am 12.
Play ball. It's the same shit, man.
How do you even do that is beyond me. Like
It's always either in Florida or a foreign country. So France makes sense. I mean, not really too big.
I think this was in Canada.
Oh, so he was a French guy. Is he from Quebec?
I don't know. I just saw it on Instagram and I was dying because he
Quebec?
just buried some fucking 15-year-old and he's 28. He does have a very Jared Spurgeon-like face.
Is he short?
Yeah, he's not tall and he looks very young. But so I actually kind of understand how he pulled it off.
All right, Jake, what do you got?
Yeah, it was hard to come up with some booms. Obviously, an obvious one, you talk about the Wilder, Sam Darnold doing great lately. My boom are Crocs.
Okay.
Oh, I love Crocs.
I recently just got into Crocs in the last year, but even in the winter, I actually like wearing them. As long as it's negative.
Dude, have you got the fuzzy ones?
No.
All right, I haven't bought a pair, but I might go to the Egan Outlet Mall and get some because, dude.
They have the Crocs store there, right?
Ooh.
Dude, that's where I got my Crocs. It is orgasmic going in.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. I haven't tried that. My bust are Spotify rappers.
Wait, like the wrapped W or like rappers like
the rap W. When I say rappers, is the people who are overly sharing their Spotify Wrapped and
which Boss Man did, by the way.
Well,
I shared one.
You just shared. He just shared. What he just shared your artist.
I actually.
There are people that share their top song. They share their top artist, and they share this. They share this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and they try to show us. In the end, sometimes I do saying, "Oh yeah, the people was top artist, whatever," and move on. People overly share their every single thing that was in their Spotify Wrapped. I don't need to see your entire discography. I don't care about a lot of people's shit they listen to. And it's just I think our buddy Gage Osmus, I think he shared something where
it was so funny.
The top 5 songs. I don't care. Bullshit.
It was like a picture of him drunk in a cowboy hat.
See, that was still bizarre to it, but whatever. That's funny. But again, that's just my bust is people that just overly share it. I'm trying to throw it down your throat. It's music is subjective. Everybody likes different stuff, but also a lot of these same. If I go to a white woman's Instagram story, I know you're gonna have Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter.
I was just
and
about to say that.
You're not unique.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter.
Espresso.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Okay, great. They're great. They're talented artists. I'm not saying that, but you all have the same top 5.
It's crazy how spot on that is.
Okay, my boom is Jordan Addison's AE1 cleats. Do you guys see those?
So sick.
I believe Mash did those. Who does shoes? Very cool. They were, Anthony Edwards won cleats.
Oh, yeah.
The funny thing was apparently Nike made them, but they put Adidas logos on them because, it's Anthony Edwards' shoe. And I don't even know if Adidas makes football stuff. Kind of reminds me of almost like back in the day when Tiger Woods was using Nike irons. They were actually just Mizunos with stickers on them.
Yep.
So, it's not the first time that's happened in sports. But, and then
Usually happen.
Finally, my bust is just post-NFL game Monday hangovers. Mm-hmm. I've gone to the last few Sunday games, and while it's so much fun going to Vikings games in person and tailgating and all that, you just are so exhausted afterwards that it carries with you into Monday, sometimes even into Tuesday. And it's rough, man. So for those of you who have season tickets and ride or die every single game and get after it, and you show up, you report to work at 6 a.m. the next day, kudos to you. It's not a life for me. So my bust is working the Monday after going to a Vikings game or any Sunday fun day in general.
It's rough. And like yesterday or this Sunday, like I didn't even go as hard as some Sundays, I had to get back, and I still felt like tired and
you're just
kind of exhausted.
And it's like 6 o'clock by the time you get home. If you wait out the traffic after the game, and you're like, well, it's too early to go to bed. But I feel like total shit.
I know.
Anyways, folks, thank you so much for listening to another episode of 10K TV. Reminder to you podcast listeners, if you want to watch a faster or quicker version, more cut down, more edited version, you can go to the YouTube at 10K Takes on X or Twitter. Make sure to drink Captain's Patch. Make sure to check out our merch, 10ktakesmn.com, blogs, the shop tab. Just check out all of it. Follow us on all socials. But thank you, folks, so much for watching or listening. We'll see you next time.